Okay.
But also trust is then a big issue with the belief system. To have the belief system in yourself to work, the trust system has also
Yes.
to be powerful for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And trust in ourselves, I think that's low in most people.
Yeah.
Trusting yourself, trusting you are capable, trusting you are.
Yeah. But it's a trust, I want to be specific, with capital T.
Yes.
That's completely different than trust through your ego.
Yes.
That leads to arrogance. Trust with capital T is trust in your essence, being able to connect with your essence, what you are. Okay.
Yes.
It might not be necessary to differentiate, but just as people get to know me, it probably is a good idea. This is trust with capital T. It has nothing to do with identity or ego, because identity and ego, when they're on top, instead of being in a service position, that tends to lead to arrogance. Ego and identity is very good, but they have to be in the right place. And that means they have to serve the complete self, not the self serving them. That is a very important step also in true light work and energy work. Did I like over explain that? Because everybody got quiet.
No, that was really good for me. Yes.
Okay. Then we will move on.
Yeah.
You said something. Stefan.
Hi.
Hi. You said trusting in what you are, your essence.
Yes.
What are we?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. I could play a little bit. I could say we are what we are. I could say I am, you are, I am. Okay. I could say a lot of things to make you feel good or create this wonderful picture, but there's so many steps in between. At this point in time, you can only be what you understand yourself to be. The important thing is, don't limit yourself by starting to think that that is all that you are. What you are is infinite, but don't go there. Go to what you are in the here and now. Just remind yourself there's so much more. That is the reason for expanding. In fact, the more complete your connection is with consciousness, and also the more complete your understanding of consciousness and its many layers is, the greater you'll be able to experience. When you can experience what you are, then you're very close to knowing what you are at any given moment in time. Because the moment a sentence is finished, you've already grown a little bit. To make it a simpler answer, we are a part of existence of all that exists. That's what we are. But that's very oversimplified and usually not satisfactory. I'm still looking to see what I am. I really am. And every day I just cover more things. Yeah. But I think that was a good enough answer for general public. We don't want to confuse people. Okay. Anyone have questions on that?
Could you summarize that again?
No, that is terribly. We're recording and you're more than welcome. I think he's poking me. Yeah. Good evening, Stefan.
We talked about what we are now. So a lot of people are busy with reincarnation. Is it possible to reincarnate as a group? And what does that mean?
Reincarnate as a group? You mean that that your essence splits out? Is that what that is? Yes. Answer is yes.
So you come from one life and you split out
Yes.
in multiple lives.
Yes. And what does that mean? That means you're all over the place. Maybe I don't understand what really the question is.
What is the purpose?
What is the purpose? To learn faster. Because as one person, you only have to learn like right here. But if you're 150 persons and you're all over the world, your soul can pull in a whole lot of information, which eventually then you will become one again. That's actually a very good question. Does anyone have any questions about that question or answer?
No, I think it's fascinating that we can do 150 lives at one time. So that explains that who we are is much more than who we think we are, or we can imagine who we are.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question about that, like, because so, which is very often asked, so you can sort of like run into yourself.
You can run into a part of yourself.
Mm-hmm. So if it happens, you don't really notice that it's like,
yeah, there wouldn't be any use in being a duplicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can run into a part of yourself. A lot of people also mistake that from like a light family. Some people think twin flames. They mistake that meeting as twin flame. All kinds of things. There are very many versions and they get a label. As soon as you label, then it probably is very wise to see first, how well do you understand the variations that fall under that label?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody got quiet all of a sudden. It's like, Mark, am I still clear?
Because of
Okay.
me.
We're talking about multiple lives at the same time. Can you tell the difference between schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, and possession?
Yes, I can, but most people can't. But there is a difference.
Can you tell more about the difference?
Okay, like for instance, with schizophrenia, people hear voices. So I split it in 3 categories. People who really are hearing their own created voice. Then there are people who hear a mixture of their own created voices and real messages. Then there are people who really hear messages. In the world of psychiatry, they're all labeled under schizophrenia because they have the same symptoms. With multiple personality, it could be a possession, something else entering, but it could also be the person themselves that have a disconnect. It's completely different. Having something, another energy enter your body is very different than you yourself splitting. Because you're the same person, you've just taken on a different personality.
Yes, it's much more complex than just one label.
Yeah, I know. But too bad most psychiatrists, most doctors can't tell. So the solution is more medication. And that's just the way it is. There's not, from what I understand, there are not very many people who can tell the difference. So that's unfortunate. Maybe someday. And yeah, any other question?
There are people talking about councils and messages from councils and in connection with the council. Can you tell us, is there a council above Earth? Is there a council of Earth?
There are a lot of councils. There are a lot of councils, and unfortunately, it's become a type of status that if you get to speak with the council, then you've achieved some kind of status. If you are part of a council, then you even have a better status. First, why don't we try to understand what's right here on Earth? Right here on Earth.
If we're here on Earth, does that mean we're part of the Inge's council?
If you want to be, but I don't form a council. Listen, everything on Earth is this is a simple answer for all those types of questions. Anything you see here on Earth, you're going to see up there because we're getting it from somewhere. Okay, we're just most of the time a poor reflection. So if you think that something is kind of intense here, up there, it's pretty intense too.